Hi everyone, welcome to The Last Drop. I am Chris. Day 2 and I'm already knackered. What's going on? I've got a week. Welcome everyone. Let's get everybody in. Here we go. Oh no, that was the wrong button. That was embarrassing. There we go, everyone's in. Oh dear. Right, to my left is new Dram Drinker, Anthony and Nikki. Underneath me is John, the Whisky Neighbour, all the way from Canada, Alberta. Thank you for coming along, John. And to my bottom left is Toby from down the road in Eastbourne, where all the old people live.
Hello. Oh, they don't live there.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming on today. Thank you everyone in the chat. Let's give some shout outs. People in. We got Alan the Whiskey Friend. Hi Alan. Bourbon Baby J. You probably saw him last night. Go and check out his channel. Antonio Whiskey Quests. Andrew Prestige Liquids. Again, both on last night. Gregoire Whiskey Guide. He'll be on tomorrow. Go and check it out tomorrow. Ebhead Rolf, how you doing, Rolf? Glad to see you back again.
Oh.
Neil, the Whiskey Trials, who will be on Saturday, hopefully. Paul Gibbs, hi Paul, how you doing? Society Dweller, good to see you again. And Luna's back in as well. Cool. How is everybody doing? Good. Right. Let's, I think we should go around the tables. Like you to, introduce yourself, John, and, what you're drinking.
Well, hi guys. As Chris said, I'm John. I've been online for, it's got to be 2 years now, or a year and a half, somewhere in there. Whisky Neighbour, and what I'm drinking tonight is Canadian. I thought, well, I'm Canadian. So I've actually got a bottle of, I don't know if you can get this stuff. Have you seen this? 90, 20?
The Wayne Gretzky stuff, isn't it?
It's, no. You might think that, right? 99 proof, because Wayne Gretzky's number 99. Yeah, no, I get it. But no, these guys oddly named their whiskey after the percentage, right? So 90 proof, so they called it 90. And then they released a 5-year-old, 95-year-old, and a 90-20-year-old. And this stuff, if you can get a hold of it, is surprisingly, it's a little typically Canadian, so it's really maple syrup, like it's sweet stuff. But you can get this stuff for about $40, which is what, 25 quid out your way. So it's a crazy value, Yeah.
Toby?
What did you want more?
No, that's cool. Toby, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Toby. I've got a channel called Whisky Shared, and I've been running my channel in one form or another for probably the last 6 months. And tonight I'm drinking Dewar's 12-year-old.
Interesting. And Dave and Nikki, introduce yourself.
So we are New Dram Drinker. This is Anthony. I'm Nikki, but you can call me #Mrs. Whiskey. We have been YouTubing for about 4 months, and we started out as just complete newbies, new to whiskey, new to the whole journey. But we started our channel because we couldn't find anybody else that was new. So when we were starting our channel, we were quite intimidated by lots of you guys because you've been doing it for a while. We couldn't get all the nosings and the tastings that you all got. So we started our little journey in a simple way, and we're having a great time, we're having fun, it's been good. So
cool. Right, so today's topic is Whiskey Tube. I think it's quite a sort of not a contentious topic, but it's an interesting topic because I think everybody's here because of Whiskey Tube, aren't they? So this is the community, the whiskey fabric, if you will, that is bringing us all together, this medium of YouTube. And it's really, really, really interesting, isn't it? And there's a lot of people doing it. And there's I want to start off talking a bit about maybe a bit of the divide, maybe, of the Atlantic, which is quite a big divide in the Whisky Tube community, I think, because you've on one side, this side, that side, you've got people like John, and then on the other side you've got us. Obviously, what I find with Whisky Tubers in the States and sort of North America is that their channel growth seems to be a lot more rapid than people in the UK. Now, is that because it's just mainly associated with bourbon, and that's maybe a bigger market, obviously, in numbers, but I mean, it's an interesting point of discussion, I think. Why did you get that growth from bourbon rather than Scotch?
Do you also think that it maybe is, do Americans like watching Americans review whiskey more than I do us, and they're just the sheer numbers they've got make the figures grow quicker, or do they maybe not get our language or our sense of humour, or there's a lot of different things, isn't there, that it could all come down to actually sheer numbers rather than anything else.
I'm in focus. I was wondering what was wrong with my face.
Yeah, that's a good point. It
could be. We drove into a pretty heavy topic. I was going to comment on what was said earlier about intimidation when you start a channel, because I get a bunch of direct messages from people that are hey, I saw you online. Can I get a channel going? What was it like getting started? And I always want to be more encouraging than that. Instead of chasing numbers, instead of watching like, oh, how many hits do I have, or do I have merchandise out yet, or whatever. Instead, like, shouldn't this just be like, we enjoy this, right? Like we enjoy what we're doing, and I think that comes through the camera if that's why you're doing it. I think if you're chasing numbers, pretty soon that channel came and then it goes away, because I just think that's not what we do this for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our biggest hurdle when we first started was, I think I've mentioned this before, that we would watch a hell of a lot of YouTube videos, and they would have a bottle of whiskey, and they would tell us all the different notes they could pick up, the tastes and everything. Then we would buy that whiskey expecting to be able to pick it up as well. And then it would be like, we'd try it and we'd think, okay, yeah, it's sweet. It tastes like whiskey. And the only decision we had then really was, do we like it or not? It didn't, all the notes and flavours just weren't hitting us like they were the videos we were watching. So that's kind of what kind of kicked us into action to do our channel, where it's just a bit more basic of, okay, this is a sweet whiskey, this is like a slightly smoky whiskey, this is a peaty whiskey. And it's very basic, but we're hoping that the people that follow us and our channel will grow at the same time, and we'll all kind of figure it out as we go, kind of thing. And I think that was our biggest intimidation. It just wasn't.
You all seem experts.
Yeah, to us, you're all experts.
It's whiskey.
And we're faking it really well. I know we're faking it really well.
Really?
Yeah.
You're
an expert.
you, Chris.
We are drinking the
I've got a clue.
whiskey.
I can't even taste this port in the portwood. It's supposed to be portwood. That's like a tiny amount.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lovely journey, don't get me wrong, and it's one we're enjoying.
And we're loving it. We're so excited because we love learning every single channel that we watch. Going back to your question, Chris, every single channel that you kind of watch, you get something different, don't you? Because everybody's doing it in a different way.
Yeah, I think definitely that's the key.
Yeah. I didn't mean to jump too far from your numbers, and I see in chat someone wants us to talk a bit about trolls, and that is an issue too. As you get bigger and you get more numbers, definitely. Thankfully, I find YouTube throws stuff into the this is maybe not what you want to see on your comment line, so I appreciate that. But getting back to your numbers thing, like I don't know if you know, but I haven't turned on ads. I don't have a Patreon account, and I haven't made any glass toppers or anything yet, because I still feel like I'm not getting half the notes I should as any pro should out there, and I'm that's another level. We can maybe circle back to that. But I want to talk about your numbers, Chris. Like when you talk about numbers, I do watch my numbers. Like I don't like watch them like I'm sitting there waiting for the count. But you bet I look at my videos and go, well, like what's trending or not trending, but what's well watched. Yeah. And on my channel, bourbon is like will always be my highest count. Yeah. Like it just always is. And then Scotch, and then quite a bit lower Canadian. Well, and that's tough for me. Totally. And that's tough for me because part of what I wanted to share with this global community is that Canada is more than just that sweet, nothing, smooth, forgettable whiskey, which is our mass export, right? That's absolutely what we're known for. If you want to spike a Coke or you want to kind of just drink and not know what you're drinking, Canada comes to mind. And that's unfortunate because I think we've got some great spirits out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than Crown Royal, yeah?
Other than Crown Royal.
And Canadian Club.
Crown Royal was one of the first whiskies I bought. You see it I saw it at the airport. I remember it. I was coming back from Vancouver, and it was obviously in that nice little purple bag. Actually, I think it was. Just double check. I brought that Crown Royal with you, didn't I? Yeah, when we came back from Vancouver. Yeah, was it for Brian's wedding? Completely off piste, but yeah. But it's got that marketing, hasn't it? Which almost links in to yesterday. But that nice sort of that purple regal bag. But I mean, it's not a bad whiskey. I don't see there's no real problem with it.
Did you literally buy that because of the branding and the bag and everything? So there wasn't any.
I think it was a time when I was just trying different whiskies and stuff like that. Trying to get into it. I mean, it was a good few years ago now. I think it sat sort of on the worktop for like 2-3 years where I hadn't drunk it.
So you had that when you were just getting into whiskey. Did you find it bad then, or is it got worse to you as you've kind of got more into whiskey?
What, Crown Royal?
Yeah. Have you always not liked it, or has it never got?
It was nice. I'd buy another bottle probably.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just for the bag, Chris?
I still got it. I use it at work. I use it for sweepies at work, the Grand National and like World Cup and stuff. Put the names in the hat. Hey, it's practical after you've drunk it. It's brilliant. Brilliant bit of marketing.
Yeah.
That was probably a bit heavy to start off with, wasn't it? That's
Well, no, I just meant like if you wanted to talk about why we started our channel, I like to hear that, and even kind of what brings us to the screen, and then I'm curious about this divide that you're hinting at, because is that just around the growth divide, or is it around like this communication we're having now? What did you mean about the divide across the Atlantic?
Well, I see it as like if new YouTubers, new channels pop up quite regularly. Yeah. So like myself, Anthony, and Toby. I mean, Toby's been around for a while, to be honest, but it's it was on his other channel. Now it's Whisky Shared. But I find that from a growth point of view, I mean, I'm not looking at numbers particularly, but you do notice that when something kicks in, it seems like Mash and Drums come out of almost nowhere. But Jason's got a load of followers, but he's doing really good stuff. I Whiskey Sheed Wines is just like blown out of proportion, isn't it? But with their potty mouth.
But some of those, this is interesting. I haven't watched you guys long enough to really know how much production you put in your channels. But like Mash and Drum, you mentioned. I mean, that is like everything about his production is solid. Like his his intro looks professional, his studio looks bang on, and his cuts and his scenes and his work, is he doing all of that, or does he have a friend that helps him with that? Like, I feel like some of those channels that go from kind of low to really impressive numbers in a very short span in half a year or something, I feel like they've got more people involved, maybe, or more. I don't know.
There is one channel. They've just started up again. Was it Whiskey Broads? Broads of Whiskey or something like that?
Yeah.
They've just restarted for like a 1-2 year hiatus almost. But yeah, they've just got like the two women are chatting online, but on the screen. But there's definitely two guys at the back, directing. The chat just said no. He does Mash and Drum does it all himself. Well, hats off to him. I mean, that's a ton of work. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I do on my channel, like one of the reasons why it's tough for me to do lives is life, to find actual time like this to sit around and connect. And that's why I'll shoot an episode when I've got, like, I put my phone up, I've got a lapel mic, that's it. I'm always near a window or natural light. I got no lights, I got no camera equipment. It is literally the phone in my pocket. I put it up, I pour something I know a little bit about, and I talk a bit about that. And that's all I have time for. I edit it in DaVinci. It's a free thing. Like, I don't pay for my editing software, and I kick it off to YouTube. That's all I can afford or figure out for time, Some of these channels, I look at the work they do. I mean, I know how to do that stuff, and it's like, and that takes time. Definitely. Like, that's committed. I mean, I think, like, I don't think I've seen Roy's setup, but Roy's setup is like 2 or 3 monitors, isn't it? And then he's got another camera down here, and then one there. Different audios, mics going on. He's got that drone now, obviously.
I think that your growth is almost everything you do around YouTube. YouTube is your content, but how you grow your channel definitely comes down to all of your other social media.
Yeah, because I noticed you're quite active, Anthony, on all the other channels, and you're pushing your content quite heavily to keep people engaged and tell them what you're doing.
Yeah, it just seems to work, because you find that you have a few videos that maybe stall, and then I just kind of pick a couple of videos out of the catalogue and try and push them just to get them back out into the public domain. And it seems to work. I mean, they literally double in kind of views and stuff by just sticking a little Instagram picture out saying, don't forget this video kind of thing. And it's just a matter of not letting people forget that you're there, really. I think it's just, you don't want to be bothersome and keep on going at it. But it seems to be working at the moment. It seems to be bringing people in. So, until I get told to stop.
So everybody starts calling you Dave.
Yeah, lots of good stuff going on in the chat too. I agree with some comments about, well, I mean, I've been throwing about production and whatnot, but I'd like to bring it back to where I was talking about what drives us to the camera. Like, I think if we share what we're enjoying or what we're thinking about or what we're like, what is this? We throw that out there. We may not go like viral. I don't know what that's like, but I think there'll always be people that are like, well, that was interesting to watch, or his take on that was something that I have, or whatnot. So I think that shows. So that's why, there's lots of channels out there with low production value, but the people have been doing it for a while, and they've got people that tune in. Yeah, for sure.
So I suppose we should go with that. And John, why did you start doing it?
Because unlike yourself, my wife supports this, but she told me to go talk to someone else about whiskey, because she doesn't like whiskey, and I think I was talking about it too much, and she's like, I've seen these guys online, you should do that. It was a way of getting me to talk to someone else. I think that's why. But honestly, I'm being a little negative. She was supportive, and it was fun, and that's how I started it. Yeah, talk to someone else, not her, I think.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Had you had any background in kind of media or anything like that before?
No, as I said, I was a teacher and then a principal, and so I talk to people a lot. I do a lot of public speaking, so I have no problem just kind of talking without any kind of prep or whatnot, so that helped me. And when I was a teacher, I actually taught all this stuff, tech, media, editing, and whatever, so it's so easy for me to do that, to hook up the hardware, to cut scenes if I need to, or whatever. It doesn't take time. So that was easy. But other than that, I don't have any background in media or anything like that, no.
didn't have a drive to like do YouTube. It just was the right thing to do at the time.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. It was. And it was at the same time I did start. I don't want to say I would try to drag people into whiskey, but it was at a time when I wanted to share with a few others too, like my actual neighbor and actually the teachers. I hosted a tasting for the teachers in my school at the time. I just said, like, there's some really good stuff. We got to break out of the Crown Royal. It's a beautiful velvet bag, but even in Canada, you guys could be trying so many other things, and you might find stuff you really like. And so it was part of that, right? Like, so I was doing that in my life, and my wife said, well, you should talk to some people online about it.
That's cool. How about you, Toby? What was your reasonings for it?
Well, for starting the channel,
Yeah.
it started off with being a member of the Somerton Club, and when I got my delivery of whiskey one month, they said, any chance you can just do a short clip of you unboxing your this month's delivery, so we can sort of share it online. Your sort of reaction of opening a bottle of whiskey. So I did that, and then they said, any chance you can just do the same but tasting it to see what you thought of it. So I did that, and then I sort of thought, well, I could share this every time I open a bottle, every time I get a new bottle. So it sort of went from there, and the hope that somebody watches it and gets something from it is a bonus. But if not, it's just part of my journey, with whiskey.
Was it a different journey than you thought it would be when you first started?
Not really. No, I don't think it's any different. It's just the fact that you're sharing with new people all the time. People come on and, they give you comments, and, you meet new people through whiskey that you probably wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. About you, Chris?
How I started. Boring story? It's probably a boring story. Well, it's not. But it's...
It's your story.
I originally started off, you probably realise, if you watch the rest of my channel, please visit the archive. You'll notice that the first ones start off as RAR, and that stands for Ride Along Reviews. What I was originally going to do was, because I ride my bike to work every day, I've got about 15-20 minutes on the bike. I was camera facing my face. And then, ride along and just review something, review a drink or whatever. It was going to be mainly cognac to start off with. So I started getting into that. Whiskey sort of pretty much took over. And then when I started it, because it was like October last year, obviously it was getting dark. So, because I only got like a cheap little GoPro, sort of Chinese knockoff thing, and I had that, and I had like 2, 3, 4 different lights lined up across my handlebars, all pointing at my face, just so I can get the light onto my face, because otherwise you just couldn't see it, because it was so dark. So I was running along.
What could go wrong, right? You're riding down the road, lights are coming at you.
This bright face, like a demon or a ghost coming at you down the road. But
did you have a glass of whiskey in one hand?
But so I decided right, okay, well I can't really do that. So I thought, right, I want to do some reviews anyway, and I want to do cognac reviews. So I sat down on my sofa, got my old DSLR out, and then started shooting that way. And then it's sort of just progressed from there. Ride along reviews then seemed stupid because I was doing it from my house. So I changed the channel name to The Last Drop. I don't know why, it just seemed to fit. And then the rest is history really. And then I've just been trying to do a review every Friday, get one out. That's how it's gone. And now I'm here doing Whiskey Week Live with
amazing. Thank you.
Many whiskey tubers, and it's just brilliant. It's a community. I've been up to Glasgow. I went to the gathering with Roy and met Vin for the second time. Jason Whiskey Wise I met. And then all these other guys, Ebhead, Rolf, who's in the chat. Johnny I met at Spirits People, who's just in the chat. Hi Johnny. Caught your stream earlier on Instagram. Go and check that out. And yeah, just started meeting all these great people and talking to great people in the chat and everything about Whisky Tube. And I think this is why I wanted to make it a topic, because Whisky Tube as a medium, it just brings people together. And as the t-shirt says, it's not whiskey until it's shared, which is obviously
Cheers to that. Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing. We're trying to share the whiskey, aren't we? And
yeah, I think we're trying to share more than just that as well. I think we're trying to share ourselves, aren't we? It's our personalities and what whiskey brings to us as, you know, because it is a lifestyle thing as well as just a drink, isn't it? It's not just us having a drink at the end of the night. There's more to it. But, you know, it's a whole, you know, it's changed our lives doing this channel.
I've got whiskey shelving now.
That's it, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've got a bar in the house now that we didn't have before. We're going out and doing things around whiskey for videos that we'd have never done before. So we'd never visited a distillery until about a month ago. So you know, it's evolving our lives, and luckily we can share it with people who seem to be enjoying watching it as well.
Cool.
I would totally agree with that, changing our lives too. Even though, as I said, I was getting into whiskey and talking to people and whatnot, but since starting the channel, like the different styles, I'm much more willing to try different bottles or whatnot. And I've been into several local craft distilleries that I didn't beforehand. I mean, I enjoyed mostly Scotch, or like after a youth with some Canadian spirits, I think I went into Scotch pretty quick. Yeah. But getting back to that, it changed kind of the rhythm of vacations. You know, if we go somewhere, I'm like, oh, is anyone making whiskey around here? I wonder what their story's like. And yeah.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. Because I went to Spain recently and I spent the first 3 days looking for a bottle of whiskey from there.
No, you're lying. You spent the first 3 days looking for dick.
Oh yeah, and I found it.
Never took me that long.
If anybody doesn't know, dick is actually a Spanish whiskey. It's spelled DYC.
Yeah, just to clarify.
Otherwise, it's just like.
I wouldn't recommend the dick. If you're going for Spanish, have Nomad. Yeah. Nomad is beautiful.
Does that count?
Yeah. It's neither, but Nomad is honey and caramel and really beautiful to drink.
It's nice.
Dick is a bit rough.
Well, I can't say I've tried Dick, but I've seen Nomad around, but I haven't picked it up.
Yeah.
I would
recommend it.
I would give it a go.
Yeah.
But it's
nice.
Very sweet.
It's distilled in Scotland, isn't it? And then aged in Spain. Nomad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Awesome.
We were very surprised.
Toby, how long have you been online? Because I heard that you changed channels, but I didn't know you before. Like, I've only been on a couple of your videos. Like, how long have you been on this Whiskey Fabric here?
I've been producing whiskey videos since February, I think.
Oh, okay.
And before that, I was on YouTube for about 10 years, just producing this, that, and the others. So mostly cycling or car videos.
Oh, okay. That's the part that I don't know about your history. Yeah. Sorry about that. So car videos and cycling and
yeah, and I felt that the whiskey content was a bit too specific and was probably putting off my existing subscribers. So I decided to branch out and separate it from my existing channel.
Okay. I'll have to go check that out. Not that I'm really knowledgeable in either of those things, but it'd be nice to see some of your content there. That'd be cool. So what are you called in the other channel, or separate channel?
It's just Toby Field.
Oh,
nothing
cool.
Special.
Okay.
You're going to stalk you now, Toby.
You've got a Canadian stalker now.
I'm going to look.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. Right, I think it's time.
Is that a quick fire question, Chris?
If you were watching last night, we got 5 quick-fire questions. Which we're going to go round.
Come on, do the
They're the same.
Where's
They are the
scoring?
same. But yeah, we're going to do it. You're going to answer them as quick as possible. And we'll go. How
I
should we
didn't see
go?
this part last night. I did tune in briefly, so now I'm
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
scared.
yeah. Well, this was a
What's coming?
surprise, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the other two sort of know what they are, probably. And they've probably been researching and stuff like that.
Forgot.
Unless the
Oh
same
no, this
question.
isn't like a knowledge
Oh no,
thing.
no, no, no!
goodness.
It's
Okay,
it's a sort of.
like that you think we put that much effort into
Right,
tonight.
okay, we're gonna go. Nikki and Anthony first, then Toby, then John. First question up is favourite current whiskey.
Jesus.
Balvenie Caribbean cask. I don't own it, but I've drunk it in the bar recently, and I really like it.
Look,
I own it.
Glenfarclas 105.
Toby.
It's probably this one here, red wine cask.
Oh, Tipperary.
Single cask release from Ireland.
Cool.
Nice.
John.
This minute, today, right now,
Yeah.
Yeah. Your
pressure.
favourite whiskey at the moment.
because right now my mind is still blown with anything peated. Lagavulin 12th anniversary 2016 edition. I will pour until I can't find it.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I just picked up a barrel proof rye. It's not great, but I bought it yesterday, poured it yesterday, and my mind is like, oh, I love rye. So
Yeah.
That's good.
yeah.
White
Some
Rye
big,
Rye.
bold rye.
That's a great video somebody made.
Chris, what about you?
Yeah, what about you, Chris? You're not getting away with it.
Huh?
Oh, that's right.
That's true, actually. Yeah. My favourite one at the moment. I'll tell you what. It's not even. I'm gonna almost skip. No. We're gonna stick with whiskey. My favourite whiskey at the moment is.
Remember you said quick fire, Chris.
Sorry.
Remember you said quick fire.
What?
Remember you said it quick fire.
Spot.
It's my favourite one at the moment is the Hazelburn 14 Oloroso cask,
Nice.
which is nice.
Beautiful. Haven't had it. I've heard good things.
Ooh, Chris is too slow. Yeah, yes. Sorry, Johnny. Okay, next question then. Go-to distillery. Go.
Who too?
You, same order.
I'm going to say Forest
Forest,
I'm gonna
right?
because I've just been there. There's a beautiful feel there. They are going to be huge. There is something really special about them.
I'm going to say probably Bimba.
Mm.
Cool. Toby?
Can I say the same? I'd say Bimba too.
Cool. Cool. John's like, who the hell are Bimba?
Yeah.
For me, it's Hiram Walker in Canada, but it's only their Northern Border collection and only the one they release. They release 4 special bottles every year, every fall, and I will buy every one of those every year.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to not say distillery, but I'm going to go for Douglas Lang as a blender, independent bottler. That would be my go-to.
Cool.
Get that.
Great bottler. That's quite cool. What is the favourite video you've done?
Oh my god, I should have prepared for this.
Not with the best
I heard-
views or not with like anything, but the best video you've done. The one you like the most that you made.
You know the one that makes me laugh the most, and it's got the worst reviews, and then the worst views on our YouTube channel is Ant did a really goofy disco one where our very first live stream was an hour and a half long, and he got really drunk.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I remember that.
And we took all the. He said "wow" so many times. We took "wow" and put it to a disco beat and made a crappy little funny video, and my kids have got that as their ringtones. I've got 3 children, and they all still go, "Wow!" It's like a thing in our house. That's probably my favourite video at the moment. It's really funny in a goofy kind of non-whiskey way. It's him being really drunk.
Nice.
I'm going to say my Mission Impossible one because
the last one.
The last one you do is
yeah.
always like, isn't it? So it's like that probably took the most effort. That was
my
probably
God. I was a widow for 2 days.
it was probably a good 10-hour edit. So
Nice.
that.
Toby?
For me, it was probably the Irish whiskey blind tasting where I got to taste Redbreast 21 and Teeling 14-year-old. The Teeling 14-year-old reminded me of Scampi Fries or fish and chips. So
Nice.
that was the most bizarre.
Yeah.
Because I was blind tasting them for the first time, and that sort of like surprised me.
And a really brave video, because we've been sent blind tasting stuff, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we've been
Too scared
to do it. So really good. Yeah, we like that one.
Blind
enjoy
tasting's the
blind
way
tasting.
forwards. That's the way to go.
Just not good enough yet. We worry that we wouldn't do them justice. If you know. What I mean.
You just make it up if you get stuck.
Yeah. Tastes like carrots.
Just keep talking. Yeah.
Go on then, John. What's your favourite video?
Oh, I'm glad you said not most likes, not most views, not most that kind of thing. The one that I had the most fun on, I made a ton of mistakes, but I tried early on actually to talk about the different grains and how they make it through to what we taste on the other end, right? So if it's mostly corn, what does corn bring all the way through? Barley, what does it bring all the way through? But instead of doing a little chemistry, which is what I should have done, like bake a little cornbread and make a little barley something, right? Instead, I just had bowls of flour. Yeah. And so I'm trying to taste flour and then connect that. And it was like, again, if you see it after you've had quite a few in the night, because it's not brilliant. I make a ton of mistakes and I'm tasting flour.
I'm going to watch that.
I love
I'm so watching that.
Like I actually, no. Anyways, I like it the most because I definitely had the most fun and was really trying to connect with people that I thought maybe wanted to know just a bit more about what we're doing. So.
And people will relate to authentic, weren't they? You were being authentic. You weren't trying to pretend to be anything you're not. People will love that.
Yeah. It was fun.
Cocaine dip.
What? Cocaine dip? No, it was no cocaine.
It was all around his nostrils and that.
That's right. I'm looking. I got this white stuff. Yeah, it's flour.
Tripping out.
And you? Wait, you don't answer these questions?
Yeah, he's got it.
I'm answering. My favourite video is probably... It's difficult. It's a toss-up between the Cognac Show and the Whiskey Affair. The Whiskey Affair, the beginning of the Whiskey Affair is probably my favourite. That's probably the way to go. I'm not going to spoil it. If you want to know what it is, you'll have to go and watch it. It's my affair. Okay. My affair, basically.
Yeah.
Good. Check it out.
So I'd have to say yours has got to be jacking off.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, you got to watch my channel, John.
I'm trying to go watch more of your episodes.
Yeah, you can see me having...
or not. I don't know.
You can see me having an affair and jack off.
But could you make it more enticing? No, so I'll have to go check it out. Thanks. Yeah.
Next question. These are not very quick fire, are they? Your favourite non-whiskey? So not whiskey. It's favourite other drink or spirit.
At home, cup of coffee. If I'm going to a bar and I'm not feeling whiskey, or it's really early in the day, I'm a Cosmo girl. I like a cocktail, a pretty cocktail.
What's in a Cosmo? Is that vodka and fruit juice?
And loads of other stuff,
I would probably say
beer.
Bailey.
Okay, Andrew.
Bailey.
Huh?
Bailey's.
Bailey's?
Yeah.
That counts as whiskey.
Oh,
whiskey and cream in it, I think. Bailey's.
Yeah, and wine.
Rum.
What kind of rum?
favourite one is Kraken at the moment. I'm not like crazy into it, but it's just like supermarket brands. It's spice ones and things like that. Nothing too adventurous, but I just I like the sweetness of it.
For me, it's cognac. Things like Hennessy, Martell, Courvoisier.
Oh, the rubbish ones.
Yeah, the mainstream, not overly expensive ones.
Are they the Crown Royale?
Yeah, the Crown Royale of the cognac world.
For me, it'd be like a hopped, like an IPA, just a beer.
Cool. Mine would be at the moment rum, hands down. I mean, I've got Diplomatico Reserva, I think it is, and it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It's aged in oak barrels like whiskey is, but there's like massive like tobacco notes, like that sweetness that comes through, raisiny at the same time. Nice, lovely finish. It's really good, And I think like there's a few guys mentioning rum in the chat. Rolf's on about Diplomatico again. Foursquare rum I've seen quite a bit. Even like Cadenheads, I think in London or the Scotland, they bring in rum as well, just to sell.
I'm intimidated to get into something like the way you describe that sounds beautiful, but I'm worried that if I start opening a bunch of great rum, then I've got to spend a couple of decades getting to know rum.
I know, right? Well, this is.
I have a lot of videos to record.
That's right.
Well, that's it. But that's another thing later on. But yeah. Final question: pineapple on pizza. Go.
No.
Yes.
I do not believe in fruit on your main meal. Fruit is a pudding. I have massive fruit allergies as well, so I can't eat lots of them, but fruit should be a dessert.
What? No, you don't have applesauce with pork? Roast pork?
No. Apples, no.
Cranberry for turkey?
No.
No.
You can eat berries, that's it. Nothing tree grown.
I think it should be on, yeah. It's a ham and pineapple pizza, isn't it? That's what it's made to be.
Toby?
Yeah, I'll eat anything.
Yeah.
Well, John?
I'm with Toby. Anything at all, and pineapple's great.
Cool. Well, that's definitely different from yesterday. Everybody was quite negative about pineapple on pizza. That's cool. Very interesting.
What did you say yesterday, Chris?
I knew you guys were my favourites.
What's your answer, Chris?
What's yours?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
You're good? All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's 4 against 1, Nikki.
It's fine.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
Clearly, I'm the only girl in the chat as well, so I'm okay with that.
I've got to ask, Ebhead, Rolf, why are you saying cucumbers every time I mention it? Come on.
I don't know.
Why are you saying cucumbers? I don't get it.
Is that a new joke that we don't know about?
Obviously to do with prestige.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't anything to do with the pizzas.
No.
Could be, I don't know. No, he'd mentioned it yesterday. Oh, Seinfeld. Yeah, Emily, what's Seinfeld? No.
Not often enough, no.
I know.
Nobody gets it.
Why is that a big Seinfeld joke with pineapple?
Oh.
I think pineapple on pizza was a Canadian invention, actually.
Was it?
Someone in the chat can Google that, but I think so. Yeah.
What's next, Chris?
Cool.
You got another question? Like, is there more? What's going on?
No, that was all
it.
the 5 questions. The pineapple on the pizza was the final nail in the coffin. We're gonna head back to the topic in hand. Yeah, let's go for the older YouTube channels. Let's yeah. What ones? Obviously, Ralphie is the pinnacle of YouTube.
Well, it's the longest.
He's been on the longest.
Yeah.
Is he the best still? I don't know. Obviously, Whiskey Vault are as massive now, if not more. Have they got more subscribers?
No, I think they're bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, they got like 250. 200K, I think, 250,000, something like that now. But I was saying, I briefly mentioned it yesterday, that I felt that the Vault is getting a bit stale as far as like reviews. It just seems like they're churning out stuff. But then, literally like 2 hours ago, I was looking. Well, I went on the Wizard Academy channel, and they're actually moving the Vault. So that room that they're in now. Sorry.
I think they've got to sort of, reinvent themselves and move with what people want, and as long as they keep up with that, and channels generally do that, then they're fine. But at some point, channels will get a bit stale, however much content they're producing, because people's tastes and interests move.
Yeah.
I think
I find that big channels, like just personally, because I'm on here more for actually what we're doing right now, conversation with people. The big channels are so big. I find my voice in the chat or the comments is kind of lost in all of the people. So I drop in from time to time. I have respect for the people that are putting those out there. I mean, they are amazing. Well, Ralphie's an exception. I tend to watch him quite a bit, but really a lot of the other big channels, I don't watch as often as smaller channels because I'm more interested in this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Because you kind of put a comment in the chat and it just flies off the top of the screen, doesn't it? No one even sees it.
I mean, does that happens more and more in the V pubs now as well, doesn't it? With Roy, I mean, because he's growing so much as well, and the V pub, you got what, like 100 plus people every V pub.
Yes.
You get lost in the chat there as well, don't you? So I mean, is
that
that
to hang around for long in the bigger chats? To be honest, I'll pop in for a little bit and then just jump straight back out again, kind of thing. But because it's you do want a dialogue, you kind of join in there to have a dialogue with people, and you can't even do that in the chat because it just flies off the screen so quick.
Yeah,
I do love keeping up with this now.
Yeah, totally. I'm trying every now and then. I'm trying to jump into the chat, and it's even a challenge. We don't have hundreds of people, I don't think.
No, we've got. I can check how many we've got.
19.
19 people watching.
But my comment, 19, right on. My comment though isn't that they're not saying interesting things or even worthwhile. Like sometimes on the big channel, if it's a big chat, like a VPub even, I'll come in after. Like I'll pop in and out, or I'll come in after, and I'll skim because I want to hear about that E150. Can we hear that? Or I want to hear what's being said, but I do feel lost in the big channels, and I find smaller channels for me are just a little more interesting. I feel like I know the people just a little bit more.
Yeah, you feel like a connection with the people you're watching the video of.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because we used to watch them a lot. I mean, then they do the whiskies that are rare. You can't get them. Friday on Fridays they do it.
Yeah.
That was interesting to start with because it was fun watching them review it. It didn't really matter that you couldn't buy it. But now it's just got to the point where, like you say, that it's got a little bit stale. So, and then the whiskey that they're actually reviewing, I can't get either. So there's no real point to watch it. It lost its momentum with us a little bit. Yeah. So it's I think that was kind of our first kind of petering off of watching them because we used to watch that part quite regular.
Yeah, I mean, even with Ralphie, I think Ralphie's like trying to mix it up as well, hasn't he, with the extras that he adds in now, which is quite an interesting sort of diversion. I maybe watch the extras more because he's talking more about the industry rather than the whiskey. Excuse me. Bit of a burp there.
Yeah, I agree with that too. That's the next hurdle for you guys. If you I'm like I said, 2 years in, and how to keep your channel interesting to yourself and thinking about those that are tuning in too. Like, of course, I try not to shoot a video like straight up, I think someone needs to see this. That's not it at all. It needs to be part of my journey. But at this point a couple of years in, you start like, I've shot that. Oh, I've shot that. Like, you know, so you do want to think of something fresh. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, no, I think you definitely need more than one style of video, because if you just had straightforward reviews to the camera all the time, that would get boring for people. So, you know, if you have an approach of different videos, it works really well.
Oh,
because
what about Vin?
because you're mixing up. Vin's not always in front of the camera.
That's true.
Vin's done extras.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's blooper
So
videos that
I
nobody
think
watches,
by mixing
but
it
he
up
loves.
and having a different approach. So, for example, my channel, as an example, tends to be reviews, blind tastings, and events. So there's always something a bit different, and I see that in everybody's channel. You know, they aren't just doing the same thing again and again and again.
Yeah.
So, you know, different styles suit different people.
Yeah, and it would be boring to edit the same video every time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because it would look the same. Everything would look the same.
Could literally cut and paste.
All of the content would be the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I would say, and that's why I'd love to get into more distilleries or whatnot, but even at minimum, you'll see me on the front porch, downstairs, outside, in my kitchen. Like, for me too, it's just to mix up, even just physically where I am helps me a little bit. Yeah.
In front of the recycling bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, like, again, I can't praise Roy enough for putting that out there and not telling me to stop, because I like that too. It's a little different, right? When you're into a bottle, you're tasting it, you got some idea, but you spend a half year or however long it takes you to get through a bottle, you've got more to say about it, even though, like you say, less, but you've got a different perspective on that bottle, I think. That's I wish more people did it.
Yeah.
You have a real relationship with the bottle, don't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes as well, we buy a bottle thinking something, and then you start off and you go, oh, that's not what I thought. But then by the end of the bottle, you have a different perspective. That's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah,
Totally.
and I've done similar. You know, you record a review, you taste a whiskey for the first time on camera, for example, and you say exactly what you feel.
Yeah.
And then by the time you've edited it to put it out, you've already tasted it maybe 2 or 3 more times. And you think, if only I'd said that.
Yeah.
But you can't, because it's, you know, that's
Hopefully
what
it
you
changes,
tasted at the
like
time.
it's better and you feel like it's aged a bit.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
I got more to say.
It normally gets better. It
hate
doesn't get worse.
Well, I've had some bottles where, like, I'm halfway through, I'm like, how did I say this was worth buying? Please don't ever buy this bottle. It's rare, but I have totally, like, oh, man. Yeah, definitely.
We have to start every review we do has to be like part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
To be reviewed.
Well, you say that. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I Instagrammed it the other day, or Twittered, one of the two. But this Glendronach Portwood that I got, and the Hazelburn 14, I got them both at the same time. Obviously, I cracked them immediately and drank them. And I found, like, the neck pour on the Hazelburn was, like, not great. Just like, in fact, it was quite weird. It actually, like, when I popped it, it all, like, went gassy, and you could see, like, the vapor. So it was a bit weird, like
really?
the nitrogen maybe, or whatever they used to seal it.
I've had a
That was really weird. But yeah, the neck pour was just really not great, and I felt much more connection with the Portwood. But now that's been open for like 2-3 months, that Hazelburn is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And then the Portwood, it's alright, even though it was better a neck pour. So it was strange.
Yeah, I must admit, I bought the Deanston Virgin Oak because Roy praised it in one of his videos. And the first time I poured that, I thought, oh my God, this is horrible. It just doesn't really work.
What have you done, Roy?
But, you know, a bit of time and the odd drop of water. Yeah, I love it now.
Yeah.
I think first impressions, you know, if you were buying that in a bar, it may put you off. But to own a bottle, you have that evolution, that journey with that bottle. And sometimes...
Well, that's a difficult thing as well as a bar, isn't it? So, I mean, if you're at a bar and they open the bottle, then you're going to get a different whiskey from when it's been sitting on that shelf for quite a while.
Yeah, I remember when I went to Ireland back in February, and I got a pour of Powers John Lane. Everybody raved about it. They just opened the bottle, and I wasn't impressed. But You know, it doesn't mean I won't revisit it. It just didn't work for me, you know, on that first pour.
I think some of our review videos that we've done recently, we've gone back, we're doing our videos in the order that we bought our whiskies. So there are some whiskies that I remember thinking, now I drink them and I go, oh, actually they're all right. Because
Is that also because your palate's developed as well?
Yeah, 100%.
Not just because the whiskey has changed and you've got used to it.
Definitely. Yeah.
I would say on that thing about palate changing, I find my palate like continues to evolve. It's not just about, like you mentioned, you're worried about getting the right tasting notes. I still watch some channels and my mind is like totally blown away when it tastes like the leather from a saddle you've been on 3 days when you're at your grandfather's ranch, and like, come on, you know, you tasted a little bit of something, maybe that's leather, but I hope that maybe I'm yet to find that palate, because I'll go back to whiskeys that I've had 5 years ago and I am absolutely tasting new things, like absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Do you think you can? Do you ever get to the pinnacle of being able to nose and taste, or do you always develop?
My opinion is that if I stay at this for a while, probably in 5 or 10, I'll probably get to a place where I really have tasted quite a variety and have spent enough time that I probably know a couple of things.
Yeah.
But even after that, I would suggest our taste, our memory of taste, our thinking of taste and smell continues to develop as we try new food dishes, as we have different experiences. So I still think our experience of that whiskey will continue to evolve. But in terms of being able to tell for sure it's this kind of casking or this kind of grain work or this kind of, I do think there must be a place where you're like, okay, I've arrived as good as I can get. Yeah. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you. I agree.
I'll take my hat off from sweating.
Not taking your hat off to us then.
Cool.
One of the things I was going to ask is, do any of you struggle with social media or YouTube?
Yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah, do you struggle with any part of it more than any others?
Yeah, there's too many things to do.
Yeah.
There's too many social media channels and they all work differently.
There's
and
too many platforms, isn't
trying to share stuff is hard work.
Yeah.
Let alone get people to view your content. Actually do it, you know, getting it out there is hard work.
Yeah. It's just
I always push out links and whatnot on every media just in case that's how someone catches me. But I really can't spend the time like to really cultivate outside of the channel, really. Like sure, I'm on there and I'll like a few pictures in Instagram and I'll catch a couple of tweets or whatnot, but I don't live to work content there. I'll share the links and then I have conversation here in YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, do you do a lot of social media?
But
Say again, John.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying to Chris, do you do a lot of work on social media, on Twitter or Instagram? Or
yeah, more and more so. Instagram more than Twitter, because I quite like photography and things like that, so pictures are sort of right up my alley. And obviously Instagram is basically pictures. I should do more and like take pictures of what I'm drinking and stuff, but normally when I'm doing reviews and things like that, I did do sort of like little short video clips to go on Instagram, just like this is what I've been drinking, and that was it, you know, and that went up at the same time as like the video on YouTube. So they were both related to each other, but I've sort of done it as Instagram was a shorter version of the YouTube review, basically. But yeah, I don't know why I've stopped doing that. But it seemed quite popular. You know, people obviously liked it and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe I should do that again.
YouTube can definitely kind of take over, can't it, a little bit, because it's your primary kind of output. You do tend to focus a bit on it too much, maybe, and you've just got to try and keep everything else in perspective as well. If you do like taking your photos of your whiskies, then try and carry on doing it, Chris.
Yeah, I think it's time as well, time constraints. I don't get a lot of. Well, I do have maybe more free time than I think, but it's sort of a case that I need to. I can knock out like 4 videos, film them in like an hour, and then I can edit them the next night in like 2 or 3 hours, and then I've got a month's worth of videos to go out. But they're not as creative as like the other ones, which I prefer to be more creative, and I don't know whether to sort of go down that route more of trying to be more creative with the videos rather than just churning out review after review, just telling you what the tasting notes are, which it's sort of.
And I think it's definitely be more time efficient, like you said, to record a bunch. And I know there's a lot of whiskey people that do, but yeah, that it would be the same flavor. Like, what am I going to do? Run to another corner of my house, and how can I really be saying? So I definitely try to just shoot and put out that one thought, because in a week something else is going to happen, or I'm going to feel a little bit different about a bottle I'm working on, or something like that. So yeah, I get why people do that. Like, because suddenly you've got a bit of time. Maybe you're doing it with a friend or wife or something. You might shoot 3 or 4. I get it, but that's closer to what you said about churning out the same. Or Toby, I think you were saying about churning out the very same thing again and again. I think if you shot every month's worth of videos on one day, that's all you did as a channel, I think it would start to feel somewhat stale.
Yeah.
There's part of me that wishes we could do that, because we do video at a time. He then spends 2 days editing it. Like we shoot a video and it's like I don't speak to him for 2 days. I wish we could turn out.
Best time ever.
Yeah.
He likes it. It's all in. He's having fun.
As long as we're having fun, that's good.
Yeah, see for
me, but coming back to other social media. Oh, sorry, Toby. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, for me, if I'm creating a blind tasting video, and I'm often tasting 3 or 4 whiskies at once, I don't have time to do any more videos, because at the end of the day, I've poured 4 whiskies, and that's enough for one evening.
They got to be drunk.
Blasted if you did 3 in a row.
Exactly. So I do one, and then whatever's left in the glasses, I enjoy. And sometimes if it's a blind tasting, for example, then obviously I start writing notes and stuff about those whiskies, and actually take my time with those whiskies after I've actually videoed. So the video might only take 20-30 minutes to make, but I'm probably spending the rest of the evening enjoying those whiskies for the first time.
Toby, do one night where you do 3 videos back to back, because that would be really.
What, three blind tasting videos back to back, and see how progressively drunk I get. Yeah, I think there'd be less and less tasting notes as the evening went on.
Yeah, that's another fun one I should have shared. I did a blind tasting between, and 2 of the bottles were almost at 6. Well, one was 60%. The other one was like 57% or whatnot. And you start taking a few tastes of that kind of whiskey, and yeah, I think my tasting notes were a little off by the time I got through that one.
Yeah, see, one of the videos I want to do is cask strength whiskies, and yeah, that you're obviously drinking probably twice the amount of alcohol.
That'd be heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're doing 3 or 4 at once, then that's quite a lot of alcohol.
Yes. Yeah, there's a famous Canadian YouTuber that sometimes shoots 3 or 4 in the night, or 4 or 5 in the night, and if you can tell where you are in that person's night, just how many whiskeys they've had. Yeah.
Who's that, John?
When we watched Toby.
Well, I don't want to call him out as I don't know. You can look for yourself. Long time Canadian whiskey reviewer for sure. Yeah.
Whiskey in the 6.
No. No, Rob. Hey, but that's an interesting thing about Whiskey Tube too. He's been out for a long time. One of the first guys that I got in on, right? Because he's Canadian, and I was kind of drawn to him. Actually, I listened to Whiskey podcast first, and he was on a podcast, and that actually pulled me into the YouTube community. But he drinks really fantastic, well, in my opinion, really fantastic Scotch. Sometimes he shoots value or best bang for your buck, and I appreciate that because over time, over how I've watched his channel, I also struggle. I think maybe, Anthony, you said this earlier. If I watch people and they're drinking something that I know I'll never have, like I might blow the bank or someone gets me a huge gift. And so for me, that's like a, $200 bottle is blowing like that's amazing, right? But when guys get on there or ladies and they're drinking $600-800 bottles, I'm like, I'm never, my lips will never touch that liquid. So that actually takes me out of a channel too, if there's too much of that.
Yeah, see, for me, when you are watching that week after week or, video after video, and they're always tasting stuff that's out of your league, then it's quite easy to switch off. So, to do that occasionally is quite interesting. But to do it regularly is unattainable.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that sort of brings you back to a divide as well, doesn't it? Of like high end versus low end and that sort of.
Exactly, but if somebody's recording their journey and their journey is accelerating, then maybe they're going to appeal to different audience, and you won't follow them on their journey at the same speed.
Yeah, totally. And I guess that sounded too negative. Sorry, Toby. You're very right to say that's their journey, and maybe they've taken quite a bit of time to be able to get the connections or the friends or build a collection that is at that higher value, and good for them. I was just commenting that I do like when I come back to YouTube, and that takes quite a bit of time too, trying to follow all the new channels
watch all the
or
videos.
channels, doesn't it? It takes like a lot.
Yeah.
Like, great stuff
I don't watch much normal TV anymore because of YouTube.
Yeah, me too. But I was just saying, I do tend to look for something that I'm hoping yet to try, and so that does a modest price range for me.
Yeah, and exactly. And if it's unreachable, and they're regularly doing it, it's not going to be for the mainstream. It's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah. Are there any newer channels than us?
Likely a channel started today.
Yeah.
I mean, like I remember bumping into channels recently, and there's like 5 people subscribed. Like, really? Like there's definitely new people out there, but we don't know them until they get a few more views and someone's
or somebody shares it or something like that.
Well, I think a lot of them will comment on your videos, won't they? The newer channels, that's almost the idea that they'll see you'll pop up. They'll name and pop up. So like I've had Ye Olde reviews recently pop up. They're pretty new. Only been like less than a month, I think. I can't think of anyone else. Maltland. They've popped up and they've done a few lately. They've followed me on Instagram, kind of like that. A few others.
Johnny saying spirits people.
Huh?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Come on, Anthony, you said something.
Say again.
Johnny said spirits people.
Spirits people.
Did I say spirits people?
Spirits people, Johnny. John, if you're around, come and watch on Thursday. Johnny from Spirits People will be on. He's doing like loads of different drinks on Instagram, live streams on Tuesday at 9 p.m. But yeah, he's doing some really good stuff, and we're talking about palate development on Thursday, which would be really interesting. But
very nice.
Yeah, what I want to get before, because I mean it's stream wise it's getting on long, but I want to get on, maybe just touch on non-Whiskey Tube like bits. What do you watch on YouTube that's not whiskey related?
Loads.
Because that's YouTube is like a medium, we're all in it for that, and we'll watch. I'd imagine we watch a lot of how-to videos on how to like record, how to set up a video, things like that. Nick Nimin, isn't it? I think he does loads of good how-to stuff. I don't know, probably Peter McKinnon. Anybody watch Peter McKinnon?
No, don't know who that is.
He's in Canada. I mean, geez, go on. 3-point-something million followers.
Yeah, sorry. The thing is, I actually don't like outside of whiskey because it takes, we said, quite a bit of time to catch up on some channels, people and whatnot. I actually don't go down YouTube rabbit holes very often. Yeah. If I do, it's with my other passion, which is boring in this context, which is really technology. I'm kind of a geek, so. In fact, I was late because I was just building a security cam for a Raspberry Pi that my wife wants me to set up. So I might watch a how to do that, but it doesn't connect to whiskey at all.
No, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because the chat are like, quite interested in it. So Luna's like travel videos, gardening, music, karate. Don't mess with Luna. Clearly, she'll
Absolutely.
karate chop you on a flight somewhere.
So I'm more probably cars,
Yeah, I watch a lot of car videos.
music, things like that. So I like a bit of shmee. I'm sure Toby knows shmee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the hypercars and the sports cars and things like that.
So yeah, Rolf's hooked on astronomy and cosmology videos, galaxies, black
I do watch
holes,
cookery videos occasionally.
dark energy stuff.
Hey, have you guys never heard that term, like a rabbit hole in this context, like a YouTube rabbit hole? Is that not common?
No.
Oh, that's when, like, I don't know, you something pops up in your feed and you watch some craziest commercials video, and then you're watching some politician screw ups, and then and who knows, like half an hour down the way, no one should see where you are. Like, I'm watching a hydraulic press and it's squishing.
Oh, yeah,
things.
yeah.
I can't believe I'm watching this video. Yeah. That's what I mean by a rabbit hole. I don't subscribe to that channel. I didn't go there to learn about that, but suddenly I'm watching. Yeah.
I did that today, and I ended up watching how to make a paper aeroplane.
Watching some of the comments, and like Andy's got prestige travel videos, Japan travel videos and music, and then Alan's got wildlife animal kills. What?
Okay.
Wildlife animal kills. What? Alan? You got secret hunting ambitions of some sort?
Yeah, see, I've noticed recently that YouTube in your feed will show you videos that you're not subscribed to, but it allows you to control that now by saying don't recommend this video or don't recommend this type of video to me. So you can actually get YouTube to learn what you may or may not like, because obviously it's trying to guess, from what you've watched, what you might also want to watch. And it'll often say, for example, subscribers of this channel also watch this channel. So it's trying to show you new content all the time and get you down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I bring something while we're on this topic? What's going on with the whole kind of story that YouTube might stop whiskey tubers from doing videos? Has that grown into anything more of a serious thing to consider?
I don't have any direct knowledge on that, except for that they changed their streaming laws, right? That's why we're all using StreamYard or what's the technology you're using? Right, you're using what?
OBS. Open source broadcast. Open broadcast source.
OBS? Yeah, no, I've used that. Yeah, in school. Okay.
I mean, it seemed. Well, I mean, obviously you can see the format on screen. I mean, it comes across really well. I think as a stream, I think everybody agrees with that. Hopefully in the chat.
Yeah, well, again, OBS. But back to the laws, like I've heard rumors, but I have not. I don't know any inside track on whether they're suppressing that or not. Why would they do that? It drives eyeballs to YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, at one point I heard that you couldn't actually advertise where to buy the whiskey that you're reviewing from at one point.
Yeah,
they were going to...
Sorry, Toby.
No, I didn't say anything. But I'm sure they can't watch every single video, so they'd need people to report it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
It was just, I know at one point when we first started, it was kind of a...
Well, I know
they might be stopping.
Sort sort of some of the sort of advertising laws, isn't it? More than anything, because I mean,
Yeah, because I know on
fundamentally-
Instagram they're tightening down on the sale of alcohol.
Yeah, I mean,
So you
fundamentally,
can't do giveaways if they're in the US.
I mean, you're promoting whiskey though. At the end of the day, whether you're selling it or not, you're still promoting it. And I think it's
but
quite a
not for
grey area. I think
financial
there's
gain.
something. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think it's a big enough viewing figures for YouTube to really worry about WhiskeyTube. I mean, if you think maybe all our subscribers don't even hit 500,000, maybe, I don't know, probably not even that, you know. And you've got people like, was it PewDiePie, that have got 52 million subscribers. I mean, if he started just doing whiskey every week, I mean, then they might have an issue, especially because McAllen are probably signing him up.
Do any review age range?
I think it's maybe to do with the age range. I know that there's a few, the cigar guys, like all the big fat Cuban stuff, they're getting sort of poked, I think, by YouTube. But as far as whiskey is concerned, I don't think it's happening as yet. But there are a few rules or terms that came out a couple of months ago that makes it a bit grey on what you can and can't do. But yeah, just keep churning it out.
Because I know at one point, I know Amazon keep on getting at me to start one of these where you're like a sales rep for the things that you're reviewing on your channel or something like that, and you can have links to Amazon to the things that you're reviewing. But
what was it?
that's
Associated
I would
sales,
imagine
or whatever it is.
I imagine that's the dodgy area, because then you are promoting where to buy what you're reviewing from, and that seems to be what they don't like at the moment.
And I think it's easier if you don't monetize as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't turned that switch on yet. Actually, that's a whole other topic I was going to talk about. If you guys have Patreon accounts?
No.
At the moment,
Yeah.
I'm too small for people to want to subscribe to a Patreon.
I have two.
I legitimately some really great.
Yeah, I'm one, Chris.
In that said, you should start that up. We'd like to support you. We like to that kind of thing, and I appreciate that. But I'm worried that it'll feel like now I really have to up the quality, or I really have to reach in and share to these people that are paying to see me. Like right now, no one's paying to see me, so I could be a goof, and if they don't want it, they can turn me off. But if someone was giving me money, I don't know, that would be different.
you think it would
You might
change?
change your emphasis on your content and your delivery, because you feel like you've got to pay an audience.
Yeah.
Mm.
Not that I wouldn't ever do that. I'm not saying there's lots of awesome people that do that, and I think it's kind of an extra step. It would take more time, because I think you have to treat your community really well, and you have to make sure if they are paying that maybe there's extra conversations or something, right? Like I think that's cool. It's just that I'm not sure it's what I want to do, at least now.
Yeah, and there's the added pressure and the potential added content that you have to create to support that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a tricky scenario, isn't it? Because we've toyed with it and looked into it, but if we do it, we almost want to give people the money back. But we've like I don't know, products and things like that. They wouldn't actually make any money. It would just be kind of just another avenue to be able to give people a T-shirt every year or something like that.
Right. Yeah, you could use the money just for that, like not just for that, but to engage those people that are obviously tuning in and seeing what you're doing. Yeah. I can respect that. Yeah.
It gives £1 a month, and you get like a £12 T-shirt at the end of the year or something. It's
right. Sure. Yeah.
It's not to make any money out of it, just to give people another level of commitment to the channel if they want that.
Right. Cool.
Sorry, I'm typing. Greg was saying about withdrawing his proposal because Greg's going to give away samples tomorrow. And in fact, we haven't done that. We should probably do the giveaway now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greg's going to give away samples
Wait, we're
tomorrow.
giving away
He's on about
whiskey?
withdrawing them, but there's no problem with giving away samples. It's free stuff, sort of, ish, really. We'll see. But yeah, YouTube, it's free. Don't worry. Censor our live. No.
Awesome. So, like, wait, you didn't ask me ahead of time. Do I need to have to figure out postage and give away? I don't give away stuff on my
I
channel.
know.
normally.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to give away your house, John. That was the we signed that agreement when we've all got a timeshare in John's house now.
That's great.
No. Today, the giveaway today is a lovely sample of that guy's whiskey, 50-1. So in that, I believe there is 50 different whiskies. Basically,
wow.
his Dave's Infinity Bottle, what we call it. We'll go with it. We're going to go to the live chat today. So you're all in it to win it. And it's going to be a question. Whoever answers first. Andrew, I don't think you can win because Australia is just silly.
Andy's part of the live stream.
Yeah, and you
Whisky Week Live, so he should be discounted.
If you can't have a coin, you can't have a coin.
So yeah, right. Hopefully I've counted correctly. But the question is, how many different whiskey tubers are featured in Whisky Week Live?
Even I don't know that.
Yeah.
Eagles counted one.
Is that count 2 for new
And that
Dram
includes
Drinker?
myself.
One channel.
Yeah, is that 2 for new Dram Drinker, Chris?
9, huh?
Does that include both Nikki
No,
and
just
Anthony? Right, channels. Just checking.
Oh,
I
people
love,
are putting
that, I love that Toby wants this so bad.
No,
Look,
you can't.
Toby is
You can't.
counting. He wants it.
I'm counting. I've got one.
He wants it.
Oh, 11, no. No one's
No,
got it
no
right
one's got
yet.
it right yet.
Know what the answer is.
Unbelievable.
I don't know what the answer
100,
is.
really
I don't,
brilliant.
Yeah, come on. Come on, keep getting
Come on, somebody.
People are just going to bash random numbers in there.
Oh, multi haggis muncher. 9th, really? 17 or 17? Ah, there we go. We got a winner.
Got
Multi haggis muncher cheating, but
Oh!
putting loads in. But you were first.
Even Alan's put
Multi haggis muncher
He
with
deserves
15.
it.
15 whiskey tubers this week, which I think is a
Congrats.
fantastic
Wow,
number.
impressive.
Alan's had it anyway. What are you guessing? And didn't you send Alan a bottle?
He must have
Must have
loved
loved it. Must have
That's
loved
a-
it. No specific rules. Yeah, I know, but so clever. Multi haggis muncher, please direct message the lovely Anthony, and he will send it to you.
Congratulations.
Obviously, hit that subscribe button and stuff for his channel as well, because it's important. Hit that bell notification. YouTube likes that, apparently. Why?
I'll send you a postcard and some stickers as
No.
well, or something as well.
Right.
It's just
And Andy's put C. It's not a V pub,
I
Andy.
know
It's
that's
not a V pub.
Yeah.
I know what that stands for.
Andrew.
He's not on next Tuesday. Cool. Oh, brilliant, yeah. Multi haggis muncher wins the prize. We've got another giveaway tomorrow with Gregoire, so tune in for that. He's got some. Greg's going to do some proper whiskey questions. So yeah, that'd be interesting.
Awesome.
So join us for that.
Good.
Tomorrow with Greg.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'm pretty much gone through most of my topics. Has anybody got anything else they want to chat about?
All good, mate. We're all good here. It's gone nice and quick. Hour and a half in.
It's a pretty good.
No, I've sure enjoyed it. Thank you for bringing me on. This is only like my second live I've ever done, so I really appreciate you reaching out. Thank you.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure having you on, John. Really interesting. I love Canada. I love going there.
Awesome.
BC is one of my favorite places. And
beautiful.
I've spent a lot of time on Vancouver Island. Unfortunately, quite near Tronian Sea. Not that I've ever met them, but
those would be good guys to party with. Absolutely, they look like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. It'd be nice to have a dram with them. But I think Brewquig's on Vancouver Island as well, isn't he? I think. Yeah. So they're both on there. So yeah, it'd be brilliant. I've caught cabs there as well, so he probably might even drive me around. Who knows? Brilliant. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you guys for in the chat. Thank you Anthony, Nikki. Thank you Toby. These guys are going to be on the rest of the week. In and out. John, thank you very much for coming again. Absolute pleasure.
Good to meet you, Nikki and Anthony and Toby. Awesome. Really, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, Chris. Thanks for doing it.
Okay, join me tomorrow with some more guests, Gregoire and
Andrew.
How could I forget Andrew? Embarrassing. And I think Alan might be on as well. I think he said he might join as well, so that'd be cool, just to make up the numbers. Join us tomorrow. And that might as well be... Point at the screen.
Come on, do the finger.
Come on, Toby, point at the screen. That's the last drop.
Thank